Okay, the purpose of this video is to explain how to get your frivolous fee hold up, whatever it is. It's not a bill. They never send you the bill. I never got a bill, and they made the mistake of ignoring their two frivolous letters, which are basically the same. One says 30 days, you better respond. One says 10 days, you better respond. They gave me plenty of time to respond, but I was just too lazy. Anyways. What the first step you want to do is write a notice of intent and section 1203 allegations letter to this guy, Russell George, the Inspector General for the Tax Administration, IGTA. There's this address. That's what you're going to put all this into an envelope, and this is what you're going to send. You're going to send this letter, and all the guys who you're complaining against, usually the fucking guy who brought it up to his supervisor, the guy and his supervisor. You're going to do two separate section 1203 allegations. 1203 is an IRS employee complaint form. IRS Internal Revenue Officer, whatever the fuck. Anyways, just specifically for the IRS, because it came up from the Act, Section 1203 from the Act, called Internal Revenue Service Restructuring and Reform Act of 1998. Got it? This is what your letter is going to look like. Make up your own letter. I'll put some samples of the highlights. Maybe I'll post them on YouTube in the notes below this video, but some really good ones, which you can't fit them all in the section 1203 allegation form, is reckless intentional negligence disregarding the provisions of the IRC. Specifically, this one where it talks about wages in 26 U.S.C. 3401A 4 and 26 U.S.C. 34A 11. Talks about specific wage exempt remuneration. Okay, and we'll go over that later. This is what you're going to send here. You're going to send this cover letter plus these two allegations. Usually one's the basic worker guy and the other guy's the supervisor. Okay? I think this guy's the supervisor or whatever. And you're going to put the same thing on both. They're both violating. They're saying you can't put zero wages on your 1040, which you can. Anyways, this is also another example where the notary stamp can be here instead of down here if you want to take more space. And instead of unlawful collection actions, willful intentional negligence disregarding the provisions within IRC and USC, you can also add, instead of like what I did here, I just put the wages, the wage definitions of wages and how they're exempt from withholding. I just put 26 U.S.C. 7804. Pay attention, this is important. Delinquent IR officers and employees, or IRS employees, or IR employees, officers, or not all officers. But anyways, the Internal Revenue assesses if you owe or not, and the IRS collects, right? The IRS was a corporation back in 1933. It was incorporated out of Delaware, but they went out of business for not paying their taxes. I have proof of that. I called them. You have to have the specific, number of the corporation that's on file at Delaware, and so that's failure to account and pay over any amount of money or property collected or received by him in connection with IRC laws. So you've got this big, long, convoluted, definitely just. That's what you want. Fail. See, it's going to say different than failure, but you want that. That's specifically out of it. It basically says fail to account. But you want failure in there, and we'll go over that. So all this specifically. So you got your two allegation forms for the supervisor, if that's appropriate, or just whoever sent the whoever was the guy who sent you the letter, the frivolous letter. Got it? Send it to that guy. And here's some other stuff. Officials' collection of unlawful fee is extortion under 18 USC 872. Mailing threatening communications under 18 USC, that's criminal law. Not civil, this is criminal shit. 876, so 18 USC 876, mailing threatening communications. Fucking blackmail and extortion threats for demand made without justification, 18 USC 873. Abusive, deceptive, and unfair debt collection practices, which it doesn't apply to government employees, but they don't fucking know what the law is. This just applies to collection agencies and U.S. corporations, 15 USC 1592. And here it is. For-profit Delaware Corporation, registered under Delaware as the file number 0325720. So when it was a corporation, which it merged into the government after it went out of business for not paying its taxes, it did, 15 USC did apply when it was a corporate, but now it doesn't because it just merged illegally with I would say illegally or just sneakily, at the very least, fraudulently merged with the government. Anyways, frauds and swindles. Fraudulent accusations and mail fraud, 18 USC 1341. Fictitious name or address. They're not using their real names. Probably not. I wouldn't. Would you? Anyways, they use employee IDs sometimes. They don't use their real name. This could be their real name. It probably is. That sounds like a real name. Dagoberto Gonzalez. Come on. USC 1342. Affidavit witness tampering by making me change my testimony on my 1040. That's under USC 181512. These are all criminal accusations, so it's not like a civil accusation. Willful, intentional. I already put that. Willful, intentional, reckless, intentional negligence disregarding the law and other regulations. Specifically, this one, 26 CFR 3401A4 and 26 CFR 3401A11. You should have those memorized. That's your wage exempt remuneration is not subject to withholding or subject to the income tax, because it's not noted on your income. It's not, you don't fuck with the income. You don't do anything with it. It's zero added to your income, which is going to be zero because you're not taking any benefits of the Internal Revenue Code when, like a government employee, writing off all that stuff. Interest on your house and all that shit. Please note, admission of liability. So this is under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, encoded in 15 USC 1692 Gulf C. Okay. Failure of a consumer to dispute the validity of a debt under this section may not be construed by any court as admission of liability. Remember that one when the debt collectors call or send you something in the mail saying that if you don't respond, then if you fail to send back saying, no, I don't owe this amount or whatever, it doesn't mean that you owe anything if you don't respond. But it does with the IRS. They don't know that though, so just I would keep this out. Keep 15 USC out. It only applies to U.S. corporations and collection agencies. Full disclosure. There can be no case, collection, or action. There is no contract without full disclosure. Maximum law says no civil or criminal case of action can arise out of fraud. Valid contract must have full disclosure. On protest and duress without the United States as a non-trader business, I do not agree to any frivolous allegations. Put that in there if you want. I need a full verified assessment. That's under Title 15, but I never got any. I never got even a fake bill in the mail, like a fucking, what's it called? A proposed assessment of what you owe, or no, I didn't get it. Anyways, it'll cost you about 25 to 27% after FICA and Social Security tax is 7% actually. Anyways, appreciate any advice. So ask him for his advice, and excessive fine of $5,000. Process a complete refund for 2013. Okay, this is what I got. This is my, and then you know, you gotta have a notary. Do a fucking notary, or they'll send it back saying it's not you. Especially if you have a different address or whatever. You always use your address up here. What you filed, your frivolous, they said was frivolous that year. Use the address on that year. So here's what they sent back. They sent this back. They need more information. And they said they lost my original 1040. Hey, you know, go fuck yourself. We lost it. Basically, that's what this is. And if they send my amended, under here is my amended return, under all this notice. So whenever you get this, you have to respond. You're not going to do anything with your taxes now, but at least you got rid of the frivolous fee, and you can start over with another guy, right? Okay, this concludes the video. This is a great victory. The next victory after this would be, you know, duh, what am I trying to say? What's the next victory after this? What are you scared of? Oh yeah, the fucking locked in letter shit, where they do withholding at 20% or whatever, about 20%, 19-20% locked in letter withholding with no allowances for your exemption allowances or whatever. Usually I would choose 5 to a maximum of 8. Don't even get close to the 10 max. You might be able to get away with 9. Some states, I don't know, they might get you. Yeah, but of course you never disclose to a state on your W-4 that you want anything disclosed. You can still not tell the state about your W-4. You don't have to tell them, and even a locked-in letter won't go to the state. The state stays out of it till you get wages. Do you understand that? Till you get wages, the state doesn't even know what you're doing with the federal government. Okay, that's all I have to say. And here's my notes in the law. Delinquent Internal Revenue Officers, employees, that should definitely be on there. That's delinquent because they're failing to account for and pay over any amount or money property collected or received by him in the connection with the IRC. Got it? Delinquent Internal Revenue Officers and employees. They're delinquent. They're not processing your return. They're not listening to your letters or not responding to your mailings, not giving you your information return requests, transcripts, for wage and income transcripts request. That says all your your little snitch forms, your W-2, 1099, and all that. And then you've got the USC. Of course, the CFR is an extra page because that's their detailed version that they get, that Congress allows them to expand on, but it's all the same. And that's the 7703. This is actually, you can sue them for $1 million. Just that individual employee, you can't sue the whole government. And that's for, like I said, it was recklessly or intentionally, reason negligence, disregarding any provisions in the law. That's exact words right there, got it? In the case of negligence, knowingly, fucking around, not learning the law, so it's $1 million. If they kind of just negligence, not negligence, if they just don't know what they're doing, they're stupid, it's $100,000 you can get the maximum amount of. If the $1 million, if it's definitely criminal, reckless and intentional, you get $1 million. So there's his address and phone number. It's hard to find. 202-622-6500. And my notes back here. The consequences. Be careful with your karma. You don't file this shit. Someone fucks with your livelihood, $5,000 fine. You fuck with them right back. Ruins career of the IRS Internal Revenue Employee official. He will not be able to get promoted for a while. He's going to be under review. The tax inspector general of the tax administration has to take your allegation for each individual employee, the IRS, your IRS complaint form, Section 1203 allegation to the Congress in a package. Anyways, do I have notes on that? Maybe not. I don't have notes on that. But, anyways, it's a package that he has to do quarterly, I think. Take it to Congress quarterly of all the complaints that we have against these people, these IRS employees. And he's separate from the IRS. He works for the Department of Treasury, I believe, but he's separate from the IRS. So he's still corrupt. The guy who called me sounded like he was some kind of good fellow gangster motherfucker from out of New York. He kept calling me by my some nickname that wasn't my name. So it's kind of weird. Kind of like he was programmed to be an asshole or something. And he didn't really care. But he called me. And so you'll get called by him. And be prepared to support your allegations, even at 6 in the morning. Better be on your toes. That's when he called me at 6 a.m. because they're fucking on the East Coast. Probably out of Maryland, that corrupt, where they started out. That's where all the corruption comes from. New York. These guys are thugs, gangsters. Maybe asked if you are a sovereign citizen. He asked me, you part of that sovereign citizen movement? Are you a sovereign citizen? I just say no. Here's exactly what I said. I said, no. Is that some kind of church? And he said, no. Sovereign citizen, that's like a opposite terms. You can't be sovereign and be a citizen. You can't be a citizen of the state, a tax-paying slave, and be a sovereign king, a god, basically, of your own right. Claiming that laws don't apply to you or whatever, like a king. You're only free if you don't have a number of the devil, tattooed to your head, Social Security number. Look for your $5,000 holdup to disappear. References losthorizon.com, sedum.org, familyguardian.org. Sedum has a couple videos that are like 5 hours long. You can listen to them, and if you're lazy at night as you go to bed, so go to Sedum on the YouTube channel, SEDM, Sovereign Education Defense Ministry. Thank you. It's a victory.